Hey guys, and CSFan001 here for another one of those weekly trophy list update videos. This will be going up on Monday, April 22nd, so I hope everyone had a happy Easter or Easter weekend if you just got the long weekend and aren't in it for the holiday. Mine was good, spent a good amount of time gaming, had a good breakfast since I have no family or friends up here. Just sort of spent time on my own. So this week was relatively busy overall in terms of gaming. I worked on 4 different games as well as my Fallout 3 streams over the weekend, working on that all skills or maxed out skills run. It's been a lot of fun, actually, really been enjoying that. And it's only crashed once so far, which is not bad, even though that was very early in the game. Anyway, that's not important. What is important is that this is a trophy video, and there are going to be a couple of things to rant about in this one, because apparently that's something that people like. So first off, I did the expansion pack 9 for Minecraft PS4. So we're completely done getting expansions for the PS3 and Vita versions, thankfully. But I'm assuming that we will continue to get expansions for the PS4 for the foreseeable future, at least until the PS5 comes out and Minecraft makes its way onto the PS5. We'll see if I end up wanting to do it again, because I wouldn't mind getting the Platinum again, because the Platinum really isn't a problem. But going for the whole 100% again, yeah, I don't know if that's something I ever want to do again. This DLC is not particularly hard if you know what you're doing and have the right setups. I still need to make the trophy guide for it. I haven't gotten time to finish the last trophy yet. The first trophy here, Atlantis, this one is super easy because there's plenty of seeds out there that you can just load into and drop right into it, find it somewhere. So that one's very easy. The shulker box with an anvil, this one, if you already have an end city available to you, either on your game or someone else's, then this is not a problem. It requires you to craft a shulker box using 2 shulker shells and a regular chest, and then rename it with an anvil. So if you already have access to the end city from yourself or someone else, then this one's no problem. But if you don't, then I would suggest using the creative mode exploit, and I'll be getting to that in a moment with this Plethora of Cats trophy. This one is way more complicated than it should be, but it can at least be done in the tutorial world without a whole lot of trouble, but it's way more complicated than anything like that should be. The Plethora of Cats. This one I thought was going to be a really big issue, but thankfully there are 2 methods you can use to make it go more easily. One method is, I believe you can save before you feed a cat to tame it. Save the game then, feed the cat to tame it, so you have to give them raw fish, and then quit the game without auto-saving, so you have to disable auto-save, just be on manual save, and then just reload your save and do that 20 times, and that'll supposedly work. But I used the creative mode glitch in the game, where you can load into creative or load into a survival world, then like switch it to creative mode, and if you do it fast enough, you can carry items over. So I use that to carry over cat spawning eggs, because cats are really, really rare for the most part. You can only find them in villages sometimes. So it's kind of an absurd thing. I'm not even sure if you can find them in the tutorial world. So at least that's pretty easy that way. So I would definitely recommend doing it that way. And you can do the same thing with the shulker box. By carrying over a shulker box and an anvil and then just renaming them. Finally, you have the ocean biomes one. Now, this one is very weird, to say the least. Like, no one's entirely sure what it requires, because different people are getting different results using the same world and doing pretty much the same thing. Just, jumping into the world, diving down into each ocean area, sailing over them in the boat. Different things seem to work for different people. Some people say the trophy's glitched. I don't know if that's entirely true. Now, from what I do know, though, the progress you make on this carries over between all your different survival worlds that you've played. So that means you might be able to pop it more quickly, which I did, because I didn't really have to put too much effort into this, actually. I just got it pretty easily just by sailing on the seed from the forum on PSN Profiles. And that actually, I got all that I needed in that one. There's like 9 different ocean biomes. And then following that, supposedly if you don't get it after like an hour of searching in that world, or even just like a half hour of searching, you can load into the tutorial world and immediately jump into the central pool in the tutorial world, and that might unlock it. But no one is 100% sure what needs to be done, because it seems to be a little bit buggy and a little bit randomized. But thankfully I did get it without really much effort or trouble. I guess that playing Minecraft for so long on other survival worlds has paid off. So yeah, finished off Minecraft Expansion 9. I know we'll get more expansions in the future, but hey, at least I got that one done and it was bearable. Okay, so first rant. I have returned to Resident Evil 5 to work on the Versus mode. This is all I'm missing are the Versus mode trophies. I got this trophy back when I did the Platinum because it's very easy in the PS4 version. It doesn't really require a whole lot of points the way that the PS3 version requires. But the other 9 trophies I had not touched, and these trophies are terrible because they require you to play the Versus mode. Now, I personally don't mind these Versus modes. I actually think they're kind of fun, at least for a little while. But having to win 15 matches in each game mode is a bit of an issue because of the team modes. Now, Slayers, Survivors, Slayers combo, and Survivor's point total, as well as the 50 physical attack kills, those 5 trophies are all very easy because they can be done with just 2 players. You only need 2 players to start a non-team game, so you just need 1 partner to do them with. Those are not difficult at all. Me and another guy boosted them in about 3 hours, like a 3-hour time span. Well, actually, no, it wasn't that long. It was maybe like a 1 to 2 hour time span. We boosted out the 15 wins for each of us in Slayers. We haven't touched Survivors yet, but we're going to work on that this week. Maybe even by the time this video goes up, I will have finished that, depending on what time we're both free. So those are pretty easy, and the 20 kill chain is not too difficult in Slayers. It can be a little tricky, but if you hide out at the bridge area, like the upper bridge area on the village map, that's a good place to grind it out at. And I personally use Jill with her PSG-1 and Scorpion SMG. That worked very, very well, but I think that they were both a little bit upgraded from the main game as well. The 50 physical attacks is a bit of a grind, but it's at least easy to grind out. Just, you have to do a physical finisher against an opponent. So for like Jill, that's her cartwheel move. For Chris, or a version of Chris, that's the haymaker. Nothing too difficult there. Then you get to the team modes, though. This is where the problem started, because I'm not going to name any names, and I don't think anyone here would know the guy's name, but the guy was being really problematic with boosting this, because we had a 4-person group. It was scheduled for 1 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. This guy, of course, he's like, oh, I can't do it now today. So, I mean, it happens. I've done the same thing before, so it does happen. And we just decided we would do it today, or yesterday at the time this video is going up, Sunday. So we started out doing it, and we got through, I think, we got through 14 matches, 7 for each side in Team Slayers. And the guy, he wasn't the best at following directions at first, but everyone got used to everything eventually, and we didn't have too many issues. Until he just decides to tell us, hey, I'm going to need to go after we finish up Team Slayers. And it's like, really? You know, we waited until today and you can't even stay for the full time to do it? And then after that, even like after those 7 matches apiece, it's literally like, okay, now I have to leave, bye. And we can do this tomorrow, right? Or whatever. I don't remember what the other messages were, but it's just like, no. I mean, I had a set time for this because, I mean, I have to go to work in the morning. I can't play during the day, during the week. I can really only play nights and weekends. That's why I tried to set a time that more people would be available. Now, I'm pretty flexible on weekends to different times because it's the weekend. So if people are in other countries and such around the world, it's a little bit easier. So it's been a whole mess. It's why I hate boosting games. The only good thing about boosting certain games like this one would be on the PS3 is that on the PS3 you don't need to have multiple PS Plus accounts to boost things, because on the PS3 it was free online. So you can just use multiple consoles with multiple copies of the game to boost a lot of stuff with yourself. People do that for a lot of games, actually. It's fairly easy to do if you have 2 PS3s to boost a lot of stuff. For example, with that, I know that I can boost a majority of Far Cry 2 with 2 copies of the game and 2 PS3s, thankfully. I can't do all of it because there's that god-awful 16-player trophy, and then there's a few that require 3 players. Though I guess if I really, really was strapped for it and really just couldn't stand it anymore, maybe I would just go and pick up a third cheap used PS3 somewhere just to use it for long enough for games and stuff. I will say, if I ever win the lottery, one of the first things I will do is go out and buy 6 more PS3s. Then I will have 8 PS3s and can self-boost every game I will ever need to self-boost on the PS3. Yes, that's such a good way to spend lottery money, right? Well, hey, it's an investment, I guess you could say, because then, I can invest into the YouTube channel and finishing old games, and I would be doing YouTube and streaming full-time as my job at that point, because then money wouldn't matter. But yeah, if I ever win the lottery, I will literally go out and buy another 6 PS3s and TVs for them, and get like a big room set up in my house somewhere, or, I mean, we wouldn't really have room for it in the house. I'd probably have to set them up all throughout the house or something. Regardless, I don't even know if I have enough outlets in my apartment for that much stuff. That could be an interesting way to boost stuff. But anyway, it would be nice to have a lot of PS3s to boost some older games. I mean, if you had 4, you could self-boost everything in Resident Evil 5 on the PS3. I think if you have 6, you can self-boost the Uncharted games. You could self-boost The Last of Us to some degree, maybe even fully. No, wait, you needed 8 for The Last of Us. You could self-boost most of Far Cry 2. You could self-boost all of Battlefield 3. That's one I need to do. So yeah, stuff like that. It's just, it's an interesting concept, and it is just a thing to look into in the future, just because I will self-boost games with 2 PS3s, because that's the much easier way to do some of this stuff, but it's not enough for every game out there. So yeah, just the boosting thing has just been so obnoxious. I do not enjoy boosting with more than one other person, because it never seems to work out properly. So hopefully, though, we will get these 2 Team Slayers, Team Survivors, as well as the 80,000 points in Team Survivors done, hopefully either this week or next weekend. The 40,000 points in Survivors and the 15 matches of Survivors I'll be able to grind out with just one other player, so those aren't as bad. So yeah, that's Resident Evil 5. It will be great to get that done, because then I'll have the game at 100%. I would someday love to do all the Resident Evils that are numbered, not all the spin-offs and stuff, so just the numbered ones. So that would be Resident Evil 0, Resident Evil 1, Resident Evil 2, both versions of Resident Evil 4 I've already 100%ed, both versions of Resident Evil 5, since I already have both of them on my account. Only the PS3 version of Resident Evil 6, I'm not sitting through that game twice, especially with all of its awful DLC. And then Resident Evil 7. That one I'm pretty close to being done, but there's still a few really annoying trophies. And I'm sure we'll also get Resident Evil 3 remastered at some point, so that one can get added to the list, but just the numbered ones. Then, Borderlands Game of the Year Edition. Here's something else that I'm really unhappy about with the game. Okay, I finished Zombie Island of Dr. Ned. Claptrap, that was last week. Okay, so I was done with Claptrap. So, the base game is still a lot of fun. Still love the base game. The Zombie Island of Dr. Ned and the Claptrap DLC are not particularly good, but they're both easy, even though the Claptrap DLC requires a ton of item grinding. It's boring, it's not really fun, but at least it's easy. So those 2 DLCs aren't really a problem. It's these 2 in the middle that cause some issues. Now, I thankfully managed to finish the Secret Armoury of General Knoxx without any real issues. The Secret Armoury of General Knoxx, you have to reach level 61. I'm now level 69. I went ahead and grinded out to 69 just to get that max level and get higher level weapons and stuff. You can grind out levels in the Iridian Promontory very easily. Just a few runs through the Iridian Promontory can really boost your level a lot if you're doing it on playthrough 2. So that's not a problem. The Workless Tour of the Largest Bullet is very randomized for a lot of people. It costs varying amounts of money for every player. But you can easily grind out money in the Claptrap DLC by just going into the Armoury secret room that you get for beating the DLC and just selling everything in it. And then just save, quit the game, and reload back into it, and you can do it again. Very easy way to make money, so not really difficult. Plus, with this, you can literally just quit out of the game after you get it without saving or anything, and you'll get all your money back with your trophy. So who's the sucker now? Otherwise, these 3 are story-related, so those are all easy, unmissable story-related trophies. The loot midgets are random, but you get 3 of them pretty much guaranteed in the prison, and the last one is in a different area, but nothing really difficult about getting them. The Lancer Wall and Eraser is very easy as long as you're a little bit over-leveled. This one and this one are the 2 main concerns in this DLC. Chromarax is the first raid boss in the game, and the old glitch spot doesn't really work in this version. It kind of works, but it's very, very inconsistent compared to the PS3 version. Unlike the PS3 version, the ledge is like higher, so it's way harder to shoot out of, and it's like impossible to use the rocket strategy on Chromarax's back anymore. So unfortunately, it barely even works at all. And then even accessing it, I found to be nearly impossible. I only ever managed to get it to work 1 time out of like 50 attempts. Now, I was using Roland. If you use Lilith, I know you can do it more easily because you can phase walk to it, so you're safe. But I was only ever able to get it to work once, so do keep that in mind. However, if you play it in co-op, it's a joke. It was super, super easy. I mean, first try, me and a random beat it. First try, he just joined into my game, ran up there, beat him in like a few minutes, no problem. That was it, you know. He's not that hard of a raid boss if you have a team, so I would definitely recommend, if you're not playing as Lilith, you're going to need a team to do this, but it's very, very easy in a team. It's not really anything to worry about. This is a little bit more of a time-consuming DLC, closer to 20 hours, but at least it has more content to it. This is the other problem trophy. Complete all missions in the Secret Armoury. There's about 40 of them. Normally this would not be a problem except that it's glitched, and a lot of players have issues unlocking it. It tends to be either switching between single player and multiplayer as glitching it out, which thankfully did not happen to me. And that's kind of ironic, isn't it? It's like, to get this trophy, you risk glitching the game if you play in co-op. But the only way to beat Chromarax is really to play in co-op. So the only reliable way to beat Chromarax is to play in co-op. The only way to play in co-op is play in co-op, you know? And the only way really to complete that mission is to play in co-op. So it's kind of a weird situation with all of that it's very buggy. Now, I thankfully didn't run into any issues with it. The other issue can be if you accept multiple missions related to the actual armory at the same time, tends to glitch it. Or if you glitch your way into the armory outside of a mission, that is also known to screw it over. So I would recommend, personally, after every single mission you complete, check your mission menu and make sure that it counted. So I would definitely recommend doing that, and then back up your save every few missions or so. And then if something does go wrong, you can just try it again and you should be able to make it work. So do keep all that in mind, but thankfully I did get this all done, thanks to the random that joined in to help me kill Chromarax, because the thing is just, if he's attacking only you, his purple spitball things are way overpowered. And the guy didn't even have a modded weapon or anything. It was just, he had a strong weapon, but he didn't have any modded weapons or anything, which was even funnier that he wasn't really all that hard to kill. Now, Mad Moxxi. This is where I take much bigger issue with the game. Not fixing that old glitch is one thing, but badly glitching this DLC to make it borderline impossible to 100% the game is something I have serious issues with. The lesser challenge in all 3 Coliseums is still very easy. I use the 2 controller methods. Some people use modded weapons. Other people played it legit with multiple players. Now, if you use the 2 controller method, you load into the game with your second player that's very low level, below level 12, as the main player, and they're the ones that initiate the missions and stuff, and then you load in your major character as the second player. The second player will have no problem killing everything because they will be so over-leveled. Because, I mean, I'm a level 69, and the enemies are all around level 12, so everything's a joke. The 3 lesser challenges are pretty easy. They just require you to survive 25 waves in each of the 3 Coliseums. Not really difficult at all. It takes around 30 to 45 minutes each, so no problems there. No issues. With these, the larger challenges require you to complete 100 waves in each of the 3 Coliseums. This takes about 3 hours per Coliseum, even using that 2-player method. Now, it's very easy, because the modifiers and stuff can't really even hurt you. The enemies can't really even hurt you. But to make things worse, while on the PS3 version, I never ran into any issues with this DLC aside from just how bad of a DLC it is. So Gearbox, in their infinite wisdom, decided that the best possible thing to do would be to make sure that this DLC crashes the game every time you get to a high level, every time you get to a high round. This is a whole massive forum on PSN profiles, and everyone is running into this problem of the game tends to crash on round 17, 18, 19, or even round 20, which is the last round. So that's, 3 hours down the drain when that happens because it doesn't save in the middle of these competitions or anything. So it's a huge waste of time if that happens. Now, what happened to me was even weirder. I finished the Gully Coliseum first try without any issues. On the way out, when we were fast traveling out, like it automatically does, like 30 seconds after finishing it and getting the trophy, the game crashed. So first off, that means if I had been 30 seconds slower, I would have crashed on the last wave of the last round. At that point, I probably would have... I would say I would have snapped the disc, but this is not the disc. This is the downloaded version, unfortunately. But that's just ridiculous that that's a problem for everyone, and that worries me that it's going to glitch out the big tournament trophy, and I am not doing these again. So I've decided that until Gearbox gets their crap together and decides to actually fix this, which I'm not fully confident in, I will not be wasting any time on this DLC and any more time on this game until they fix it, because I'm not about to spend 3 hours of my very limited free time on one of these other Coliseums only for it to crash on me on wave like 19, around 19 or 20. It's absolutely ridiculous. I don't know why why they would let that be a thing, or how this DLC was even made in the first place, because it's so bad. It's one of the worst DLCs I've ever played. So I just don't understand that in the slightest. I don't know how they were allowed to release it in this state where it's literally dysfunctional. Because there's a reason that the Platinum Trophy is like a 15% completion already, yet the overall game only has like 99 people that have 100%ed it at the time this is being recorded out of thousands of players. So it's absolutely ridiculous. They're too lazy to fix the issues with the game. Oh no, they fixed the Crawlmerax issue, like they fixed the actual helpful glitch in the Crawlmerax fight, but we're too lazy to fix the glitched trophies in the game or the crashing in this DLC that is only present in the PS4 version. Thanks Gearbox, I really appreciate it. Thankfully I haven't wasted my time yet, but I'm just not happy about that, and I'm not looking forward to having to try these with the high risk of the game crashing. So yeah, just rant over for this game. Let's get on to something a little more positive. Storm Boy, I finished that Platinum on Sunday night. Super easy Platinum Trophy, takes about 15 to 20 minutes. All you have to do is complete the game and play all the mini-games and do a little bit in each mini-game. Lots of gold trophies, which is excellent. It's all gold trophies plus the Platinum. It's actually a decent little game with a nice story and music and stuff. Quite a sad ending as well to it. But it's at least very, very quick and easy, so no issues with that whatsoever. You just, like I said, you pretty much just have to play all the mini-games, complete the story, and then replay all the mini-games once from the Remember menu. There's only 9 of them, so yeah, it can be done in 15 to 20 minutes, no problem whatsoever. I would definitely recommend. That's a North American version. I'll eventually do the EU version. So, with that, level 65, 18%, 16,218 total trophies, 370 platinums, 2,050 golds, 4,119 silvers, 9,679 bronzes. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. For the upcoming weeks, I have sort of reclassified all the stuff I want to work on. At the moment, my priorities for the rest of April, so the remaining, week and a half of April, are the Survival Mode DLC from The Division. I'm still just trying to find someone. If anyone here is willing to carry me through Survival Mode, I will give you all the equipment that I get from it after we finish each run. All I need is just to extract 100 total items. I don't care about keeping them afterward. I just need the trophy. So if anyone is willing to carry me through that, please let me know. I want to do that because it's just one trophy. Resident Evil 5 on the PS4, which I'm now getting closer to. Hopefully that will be done in the next week or so. It depends on the reliability of that fourth guy that was being a problem with boosting this week. And then Borderlands Game of the Year Edition, which is probably going to get pushed back now until they fix the issue with Mad Moxxi. Because, like I said, I'm not about to waste the 3 hours on one of these other Coliseums only for it to crash. I think it worked better on this one because the goalie is the smallest Coliseum, but the Angelic Ruins and Hellburbia are bigger and more difficult to navigate and therefore can take longer, so they're riskier. For the month of May, now May is probably not going to end up being this accurate because I'm going to be gone a lot during May, hanging out with friends or on vacation and whatnot. So I'm not going to be around as much in May, but I'd really like to finish Black Ops 1's DLC, Battlefield 3, at least get a good chunk of the DLC done. And I'm going to do Monkey Island 1 and 2 on the PS3. They're both 100% fairly easy, but once I get those done, I'll basically have all the Telltale games done, which would be kind of cool, except for The Walking Dead Final Season and The Walking Dead Collection, and The Walking Dead Season 1 Japanese version, because that's not going to happen. And then from June through August, I'll focus on Far Cry 2 and Uncharted 2. And yeah, so that's sort of the current plans through the month of August. Hopefully finish all those games by the end of August would be my current goal, because I'm then going to be focusing on like 1, maybe 2 games per month from then on out. Like September, my current goal is Red Dead 1, since I've heard the DLC has been the multiplayer has been fixed to where it actually works again. And if that's true, then I can self-boost some of it and get into a session for the rest of it, and it won't be as obnoxious. I think you only need 6 people to do everything I have left in that game, like the poker trophy and the racing trophies, because I finished the zombie trophy that requires like 10 people. I did that a long time ago. And then also in September, Resident Evil 5 on the PS3, but I can self-boost all the solo trophies, and with 2 consoles, it'll make the other stuff a little bit easier. October, I want to do Killzone Shadowfall's DLC and Killzone Shadowfall Intercept, which you can auto-pop most of the trophies in. Then November, Black Ops 2, its DLC, because I got the Platinum. December, Advanced Warfare's DLC, because I have the Platinum in that, the PS4 version. I'm never going to play the PS3 version. And then, like, in 2020, I've got, other Call of Duty games, Uncharted 3, Destiny, Resident Evil 6, GTA 5, etc., and so on. So yeah, I have it all sort of planned out. We'll see how well that scheduling actually works out. And then, of course, there's always the idea of going back to Fallout 76 or Red Dead or something at any time. So yeah. Also, Just Cause 4's first DLC is getting released, I believe, this week. And I don't have the season pass yet because it's overpriced, because the game itself is still overpriced. So yeah, I'll get around to that eventually when it goes on sale, but hope you guys enjoyed the video, and see you this week for more Platinum trophies and other videos and stuff. So see you guys then.